Probably since 2012, somewhere around there. How many years is that, 6? Scott's the man. Lets us come in here, meet Tom Schreiber. Adam Gittleman's been in here before. Does the trick. You come in here, just get your work done, get the hell out of here, go get your pulley or something. A lot more cardio than I expected today. Thought that'd make it easier coming back east. I don't think that's the case right now. Maybe I'm just out of shape. Looked like a Big 12 college game. There's no defense. Touchdown after touchdown, defensive touchdowns. It's kind of Monday night game you'd rather watch as a Giants fan. Cook some breakfast, drive around Long Island all day. That's my perfect kind of off week. So these are lizards, cannons. I think this is freshman year at UMass. The old throwback thing, beat up. Yeah, 2011. That's my sophomore year schedule poster. All the seniors. Coach Canella, shout out to the Long Island boys. Guy loves Long Island. Got to get some of those guys out to Utah. I think they paid me to take that picture. All these things are tucked back here. The big guy used to have them hung up. They just redid our whole house, and now they got all these down here. So they took me off the wall. MLL preview and college preview. Mike Sawyer, my boy Dante Fantoni. Or is that? No, that's Dave DiMaria. This is from the Boston Herald. This is talking about my dad when he was never a lacrosse guy. He was a baseball guy. What is this? Oh, I remember this. Guy goes, if you could pick a fight with one historical figure, who would it be and why? I went with Napoleon. I said because he was a hungry conqueror who happened to be shorter than I was, so I'd have a chance of taking him down, one of history's most famous leaders. I don't know what to do with these things. A couple of the more famous lids in my career. This is 2008. This thing's been in here for years. It still has my mouthpiece attached to it. The Empire Games up in Binghamton, and we took home the gold. Again, that was such a cool experience playing with guys throughout Long Island, and you think of guys that played in college, guys like Jeff Recaro, Anthony Ostrander, Connor English, and Tom, and that was the winner right there. I love that helmet. And then most recently, All-Star Game, one of the coolest helmets I've seen. When we walked into the locker room, had no idea what they were going to look like. We didn't know what our uniforms were going to be. And playing back in Boston, which was pretty cool because I got traded 2 years prior to that, or a year prior to that. And that was one of the more special nights in my lacrosse career for sure. Pretty excited my parents put this here. This is the Sullivan family. We got to become pretty tight when I was with the Cannons. Their daughter Katie was one of my biggest fans, and her dad Mike, he's a colonel in the U.S. Army, actually gave this to my parents in one of our last games in Boston. 2 American flags from the American Embassy in Baghdad. When he presented this to us before he left on his deployment, it was pretty special. We didn't know what it was, but we opened it in the parking lot, me and my parents, and again, it was a cool experience. And this is something my parents pass every single day, so it is pretty special. I went to Farmingdale public schools my whole life. Then I would have went to Farmingdale High School. I took the entrance exams to the Catholic schools and fought my parents till death and didn't want to go. But my thought process was, if I make the soccer team, I'll have 20 friends right off the bat. And the thing for me that I was fighting was I wasn't going to have any friends. There's maybe 2 people from Farmingdale that I knew that were going to St. Anthony's, and that was the thing I was fighting. But they didn't make me. They definitely wanted me to try it out, and glad I did. Friartown. There she is. There he is.
brother. It's always good to see you.
Good, how are you?
Okay. We'll play basketball and all that now. Say hello to Coach Shrives, then we'll take a walk about. I told him he couldn't have anything to eat, but said he knew you. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Good?
What kind of ape? You want a medium or a large ape?
All I want is an apron for a cookie.
The pizza guy left. You can fill him back
Just
there.
reminded me, we need cookies. Oh, out there, we need some cookies.
That was so fun. I used to come in here and have like 5 slices of pizza and 5 cookies for lunch, and then just go absolutely dominate.
He's trying to get you eating without the plate. I'll give you a plate.
Shame.
This is gonna make my day. I wish I knew what the count was of how many I've had of these in high school.
Yeah, we check the pockets.
Thinking back to it, how much they believed in you when you're 15, 16, 17 years old to now, and you kind of, for me, this place, wish I had an all-day kind of experience here. I'm definitely going to come back come winter break, but for me personally, I just think that this place is not taken for granted, but when you come back here, I mean, I'm going to be thinking about it and talk to my family for the rest of the day about this, and it just means a lot to be able to have open arms and come back whenever you want. I don't think a lot of places have that, and that's just from the relationships that you had and you continue to keep as you get older and move into college and into your professional career. And as you could see, all those people were as happy as I was to see them. They were happy to see me, so I think that means a lot. Won a bunch of games on this field. Definitely different than the hometown crowd you get. It's its own college in a way. I remember our high school game for Chaminade. We all came back here after the game, and our parents were already tailgating in the parking lot and waiting for us, and it was like a whole celebration because they weren't going to see each other anymore. So I think that goes a lot longer in a way than a public school group, because you kind of live 2 minutes away from all those families for the rest of your life instead of 2 hours, and you kind of meet in the middle and come here and support your sons or your daughters. And it's the factory, man. Dishes out legends. I would have, if I went to Farmdale, I would have a lot more, but I always went to like Huntington, Little Vincent's Pizza. This place is a gold mine now.
Large order here. We do 2 cheeseburgers.
I have no freaking clue how to string a stick. I know how to tweak them. Like I could do my shooting strings by myself and fix my stick once it's already strung up. But as long as you're comfortable with, right? I think I could pick up any stick and figure it out in a couple of minutes and play with it. But Sean knows exactly. If I just send him pictures of my stick, he'll do it as perfect as possible. And I don't think it's necessary to know how to string your own sticks, but I think it's more important to know how to tweak your stick to get it to how you want it to be.
Rudy's been talking about All-American for hours.
I don't know if this is high or not.
I think it's good. What did you order?
2 cheeseburgers.
Nothing for Buck, man?
I got one.
Good. Is that all you need?
Yeah.
You happy?
I'm very. It's quenching. You going Tiger?
You're a Phil guy because you're a lefty.
You going Tiger?
It's not as tight.
You want this one? All right, here you go. Vermont, Mercer, Hofstra, Denver, Air Force, at Furman, versus Bellarmine, at Duke, at UMass.
Ooh, you excited for that one?
Yeah. At
Who do
Virginia.
you want to win that game?
Yeah. Who are you rooting for? Adam gave me his old gym T-shirt. It was from like the Baby Gap. I'm like, dude, I'm like, why? I'm bigger than you.
They have stuff in the bookstore now.
This is it. Maryland or Utah? Or Lacrosse Unlimited? I'm gonna have to go with.
Hold on.
The U.
You're
like Mark.
Being a coach, right? And the definition that I have as a coach, right, is making sure that your players are doing the right thing and coaching them to do the right thing. And then it's up to them to continue to do it on their own and get better as an individual. So every time I always talk to a parent when I was younger, it's just like, oh, their first thing was always, I love your parents are so nice. And I mean, hearing that as you're younger, you don't really understand that until you get older. And I feel like I've just been continuing to be the friend or be the son that they've wanted me to be off the field. Obviously I live a little farther away than I'm sure that they're happy about, but they just see what lacrosse has given me, and I'm kind of transitioning into that. I mean, a guy like Doug Schreiber and Coach Canella are two guys that have made a huge impact on my life. I mean, Coach Schreiber was my freshman coach and sophomore coach at St. Anthony's, and his thing was always practice after practice, whether that's footwork, whether that's stick work, whether that's shooting around, having to catch with somebody. He implemented that into my mentality, into my kind of my DNA as a lacrosse player. Was I'm not going to be good enough just to go to practice and go home. It's just you got to put in the extra work. And Coach Canella was even harder on me as a college coach, because you're there for 4 years. You're in his house, and he toughened me up. He kind of opened my eyes to a lot more things, not just lacrosse, but the mentality that you have on the lacrosse field and that you grow in your 4 years of college at UMass. You bring that to the workplace when you got to use that to your advantage. So I think a lot of those things all kind of accumulated up to where I'm at today, with whether it's competing for a job or continuing to play professionally. All that stuff comes together, and continue to build a lot of friendships from being a nice person and living life freely, but under a great household, which I was able to luckily have, and then just becoming your own lacrosse player in your own way, and people wanting to play with you has got me to the highest level of lacrosse that I did never even imagine I'd be at.